Today is a day dedicated to educating others about post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a condition that many veterans and non-veterans alike suffer from, but not many people may understand how to address it. So we brought in an expert, Tara Consolino, the director of Substance Use Disorder, Suicide Prevention, and Outpatient Social Work Services for the John D. Dingle VA Medical Center in Detroit. It's a long title, but it's important because you are the expert in this field. And first of all, for people who don't understand PTSD, who suffers from it?
So anyone can suffer from it. We speak a lot about veterans, but the reality is veterans, civilians, the society as a whole can really suffer from this particular diagnosis. It's a psychiatric disorder which occurs when anyone is witnessing or experiencing a traumatic event, be it sexual, physical, combat, natural disaster.
Earlier this week, we had a story on this where in any given year, 8 million people suffer from it. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
So how do you treat it?
So we have a variety of treatment modalities down at the Detroit VA. We've got group treatment, we've got individual psychotherapy, we've got medications. So whether it's a social worker, psychologist, psychiatrist, but we have a lot of evidence-based practices, which the VA nationally has put in a lot of time, effort, and research in developing.
So what are the new techniques?
The new techniques really start with one of the old techniques, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy looks at how do you think about things and how does that affect how you react. And then there's cognitive processing therapy, which affects how you have looked at the world, how that has changed because of the traumas that you've gone through, and then how you then change how you think and how you focus. And then prolonged exposure therapy, which is really the gold standard. This is really looking at how are you as a person changed after going through this trauma? How is that affecting how you react, think, and feel? And we look at dissecting that bit by bit.
And so it's not curable, but it can be treatable.
Correct. I really don't like the word cure. Cure is one of those things that kind of is like a death sentence, and we want to get away from that. Post-traumatic stress disorder really needs to be looked at like diabetes. You take your medication, you see your specialist, you move forward. You can have a life worth living, and those symptoms can really ebb and flow. So on certain days, you may no longer meet criteria for that particular diagnosis if you commit to the treatment that's really life-saving.
So whether you have a veteran in your life, someone who's been in a car accident, someone who may have been abused as a child and hasn't talked about it, what are the symptoms we should look for to see, oh goodness, I think my loved one might have PTSD?
Absolutely. The symptoms really vary by the individual. You're looking at somebody who's pulling away, who's isolating, who is very quick to anger, easily agitated, someone suffering from nightmares, flashbacks, and avoidance of people, places, and things.
And you know, here are some of the symptoms right there on your screen. And if you would like more information, you can go to ptsd.va.gov. Obviously, Tara, you and your colleagues are doing such great work. There's also the 24-hour-a-day crisis line. Would you like to give that?
I sure would. So the 24-hour-a-day crisis line is 1-800-273-8255. I believe it's on the screen.
On your screen,
Absolutely.
The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. You are not alone. Thank you so much, Tara, and thank you for watching TV 20.